This is Daryl Evans with Kings Vision at LAKings.com with Kings Director of Amateur Scouting, Mike Futa. Mike, another draft has come upon us, 2013. The Kings get knocked out in the semifinals of the Stanley Cup playoffs. What is the target for the Kings going into this draft?
Well, with the pick late in the second, it's going to be a little different for us, but we still have we've got a lot of picks and a little different feel after last year, obviously with the jubilation and stuff like that, and the reality of still having to put building blocks in place and just continue to grow and develop. It's at this stage, it's not something that we're doing positionally. It's just taking the best players and continue to stock the shelves.
And as you look at what the Kings accomplished last year, winning the Stanley Cup, and then seeing the way this year went, are there any particular areas the Kings might be focusing on a little bit? I know you're going for the best players out there, but is there a need, maybe offensively, defensively, that is a priority?
No, I think it's more just, again, the best players. I mean, you see the kind of culture we built along the lines of, size and stuff like that. It's the team has an identity with being a big-bodied team, plays hard, and that's something that obviously we're going to try and covet. But we, again, probably the best players. I mean, we'd like to add some depth to our goaltending, but again, it's best position possible.
And when you look at the players that are available right now, the Kings not having any picks early in that first round, talk a little bit about some of the players, maybe the crop of players this year in compared to the years in the past.
It's pretty deep, actually. I mean, so you're going to get great players at the top of the first round, and then there's a lot of kids that have NHL assets that we covet. And again, there's still having 10 picks gives us the ability to move up if there's somebody that we really see that we like at the end of the second round. And again, it's adding to it. I think any time that you can get some skill, be nice touch, some goal scoring. There are some kids that a little later in the draft that aren't as big that have a tremendous offensive skill set. So maybe it's a variety. I mean, you see down in Manchester this year with the success that the big line had there with Faye, Toffoli, and Pearson. I mean, being able to add some offensive depth would be nice as well.
And when you look at each draft, sometimes they're noted more for defensemen, forwards, goaltenders. Where's the strength in this year's draft?
Probably just depth. I don't think there's any way, like positionally, it's pretty well balanced. There's a lot of big, rugged defensemen that, there's parts of their game they need to worry on, whether it be, their puck-moving skills or their consistency. But, I mean, even out west, there's just a numerous bunch of 6'4", 6'5" defensemen, and it's just trying to find the right one that's going to blend into our system. And we've talked at length about what a great job our development group does there with Nelson Emerson and Mike and OC and Mel. So I mean, there's so many different options for these guys as far as the work they're doing. So we look at certain intangibles that we think the kid brings to the table, and then other areas that we know our development team's going to be able to nurture. And it's been a successful formula so far. We just want to keep adding to it.
And when you look at the kids that have been drafted the last couple of years by the Kings, their development, everybody pretty much on pace. Some guys maybe jumping out a little bit further ahead of other players.
Well, I think certain guys, obviously, I mean, it's been a unique thing. You see a guy like Slava Voyanov that wasn't rushed and did his time in the minors and the success that he's having. And then you see a player like, I'm sure this year, Tyler Toffoli, I mean, wasn't expected to be a key member of the playoff run. So it's different strokes for, I guess, different situations. But I guess players like Tanner Pearson and Lyndon Vay seem to be on the cusp of, kicking tires. It's nice to have a good feeling when you have that much depth for the big team that, these guys just have to work really hard to earn their spots. But I think those are that group. I think what they did down in Manchester this year with the Monarchs was exceptional for a young line like that to have that kind of success. And it's all in one way or another seems to be translating to the next group of guys that seem to be kicking tires at spots with the big team.
Well, I know you got a couple of busy days to you. Good luck to you and your staff on the draft on Sunday afternoon.
Thanks, Daryl.
This is Daryl Evans with Kings Vision at LAKings.com with Kings Director of Amateur Scouting, Mike Futa.